Okay, so after we have a big picture about these three components in the persuasion triad, we're going to focus on the ethos part. And as I said before, we often call it credibility. So think about how many products or services you have purchased just because it is endorsed by one of your favorite celebrities. I bet there are a lot. I listed several examples here. So the brands are actually using this credibility or these celebrities, their respect or admirations by their followers to sell their product or to sell their services. So let's take a close look at this ethos or credibility part of this model. So by definition, the credibility is judgments made by a perceiver, such as the message recipient, concerning the believability of a communicator. So in other words, it is the message recipients on their perceptions about whether or to what extent the persuader or the source of this message is believable or not. Please note that this definition should be extended to institutions and some companies as well. For example, some private companies and some governmental agencies, they also got an image to protect. They want to be viewed favorably and credibly too. So we can say that credibility is a perceived attribute. For example, if you believe what I'm saying here, then I'm perceived to be credible by you guys. And this brings me to the first feature of credibility. That is, credibility is a receiver-based construct. Let me elaborate on it a little bit. So the credibility is in the eyes of the beholders. So it is something that the message receivers would attribute to the message sender. So it's more a perception from the message receiver's side instead of an instinct attribute or characteristic of the message source. Only if the message sender believes the source of the message is credible, then we can say that the message source has credibility. So with that being said, it should be very clear that people can differ in their perceptions of the credibility of the same communicator. For example, let's say probably Trump may be perceived as a credible leader by some people in the United States, but probably most democratic people won't say that he is a credible person or leader. And some people are, deprecating him. So this example illustrates the idea that credibility is always a perception by the message receiver. So the same person may be perceived as a credible person by some people, but may be perceived as incredible at all by another group of people. The second feature of credibility is that this is a situational or contextual phenomenon. So a persuader's credibility is subject to change from one audience or setting to another. Well, think about me. So I may be perceived by you guys, hopefully as a credible source for communication-related knowledge and experiences. But when a topic switches to, let's say, football or basketball, my audience switch to football followers or fans. As you can imagine, I will perceive zero credit for this area. So again, depending on the topic and the audience who you are talking with, the credibility will change. And below, I showed you guys two videos from my favorite show, Friends. So take a look at these two videos below and then come back to the lecture. So we can see that these two videos, they show great contrast or comparison in the same person's credibility in different fields. So one scenario is that Rachel is giving great advice tips to Joey for his, styles and clothes. She is being perceived as a credible person, as a credible profession, given this fashion topic. But when it comes to cooking, look at what she did. She even put steak into a trifle. Apparently, she is not good at cooking at all, and she does not have credibility in this field. Again, these two videos illustrate the idea that credibility is a situational and a contextual phenomenon. The third characteristic of credibility is that credibility is dynamic, which means that it's always changing across time. Well, think about yourself, right? So probably some of you are in your first year, some of you are probably more advanced in your junior or in your senior. But as you guys learn more in a field such as psychology, communication, IR, or business, you will possess more knowledge and experiences in this field. And as time passes by, you will be perceived as more and more credible. So your credibility in this field is dynamic, is changing all the time. Below here, I have a graph showing Trump's support rate since he became the president of the United States. So you can see that this line, his support rate, keeps fluctuating. And of course, it will remain changing all the time in the future. So again, this example illustrates the idea that the credibility is dynamic, is always changing. And the timelines of this change can range from, a single speech, a sales pitch, or a presentation to a very long term, such as, Trump's support rate across several years. The last characteristic of credibility is that this construct or this concept is not a unidimensional construct. Instead, it is a multi-dimensional construct. So what does it mean? It means that the credibility represents a composite of several characteristics at the same time. So that means there are lots of dimensions included in this construct. So what kind of dimensions or qualities are included in this credibility construct? We're going to explore it in next week's video. So for this week's questions, in total we have 3 questions. So pick one which interests you most and post your answer, comment on your classmate's answer. I'll see you guys in next week's class.